Hello and welcome to Tavern Chat. I am your host, Eric Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR, your main proprietor at the Tenkar's Tavern blog. We got a Discord server, meme group, Facebook group, Twittering, the whole nine yards. There's an Instagram, but don't even ask me what I put up there because I have no idea. I'm sorry. I apologize if you're following me on Instagram. I really don't understand Instagram. So today, uh, earlier tonight, before dinner at the pub, Rach and I went and decided that we would do like Christmas light looking, more driving or whatever you want to call it. And we went looking at Christmas lights in neighboring neighborhoods and had some amazing sights. But you roll your windows down, and some of these places actually had music playing, right? In addition to the amazing visuals, there was music. And it got me thinking. When we describe dungeons, like, oh, you enter a 30 by 40 room, there's a table in the middle with two chairs, there are seven goblins standing by, roll for initiative, right? And it's kind of cut and dry. But when I went to my one and only Gen Con, I think that was 92, because I think I saw a picture recently showing it was Gen Con 92. But in any case, one of the only times I have played under a female game master or female DM uh, was at Gen Con. And I remember her very well. I don't remember her name. So, if, God bless her. She was in a wheelchair, and she described things that didn't just rely upon visual cues, which I think is the standard. I don't want to call it the lazy GM way, but it's the standard way we think, right? When it comes to things, anything, we describe things as a visual cue. Even as a cop, you describe uh, gender, racial background, hair color, eye color, skin complexion, clothing worn. It's all these visuals. But when you're in a dungeon or entering a town or entering a tavern, right? What's the first thing that you notice? It's not necessarily what you see, but it could be what you hear, it could be what you smell. Maybe if the characters want to touch something, it could be what they touch. And I think that's very important. I think it's overlooked. So when your players enter an apparently abandoned room, and you say, "Oh, and it has no discrete smell," it's different than it smells musty, or it smells of urine and feces. All right, so it tells you what this room is used or not. Right? If the room is used, it won't have much of any smell. Maybe if they keep it clean. If it's musty, it hasn't been used in ages. If it smells of feces and urine, then maybe it's something that is used but not used in a manner that would be befitting our general room. Right? Being used as a privy. And I'm not saying that when the players eat their they go to the pub and they eat their grub, you got to go into, oh, well, the meat is slightly spiced, heavily salted, and you notice that it might be just a wee bit rancid. I'm not saying go into details like that, but you walk into the pub and you smell baking bread, yeast of baking bread, or you smell the smell of sour ale on the wood shavings below your feet. These are all things that, believe it or not, your players will remember, because if you want to know as a person, if you want to flash back to a prior time, do visuals do it or do sounds do it, right? Like you tell people what the sounds like. Oh, you walk into an inn and you hear a low capacity of sounds, or oh no, there's a bar playing a ballad and a few drunken dwarves singing along. You're setting a scene that your players are going to fill in the gaps with, but you got to set it. If you want your players to buy in, you buy in with them. Science fiction, right? Players are going to go repair an engine in a starship. Well, you walk into the engine room, you can smell the smell of oil and grease and fumes fill the air. Well, but it's nuclear, but you still have grease and other stuff that keeps the parts lubricated. Bring your players into something that's familiar to them, not just by the visuals, audio, sounds, even touch. Touch is a harder one because the player has to say, "Oh, I'm going to touch the doorknob." Well, the doorknob is very cold to the touch, colder than you'd expect. Oh well, or it's rough. It feels like maybe somebody has pounded on it in the past. These little details will stick out a lot more than your 30 by 30 room description with a table in the middle with two chairs and a handful of goblins. I mean, you really want to play it up to your players. So, again, the visuals tonight were some of them were amazing. I took pictures because, that's what geeks do, right? You pull the car aside and you go, I'm going to take pictures of this crap. But the ones that really struck out, and it was in the 40s, so I was like, yeah, we're going to roll with the windows down at some point. And well, not loud music, but just enough ambient music to give depth to the light. So what's what you're doing when you give additional senses? We describe additional what they smell, what they hear, what they taste. Less on the taste, less on the touch, but what they hear, what they smell. This adds a dimension that you're not adding otherwise, and you don't overdo it. Don't go start going, oh, you walk into the bar, you can smell the unclean dwarf and the yeast of bread and the sour smell of ale that's gone past its date. And you can almost smell the perfume of the serving wench. No. 1 or 2 points. It's what you need. It ends ambiance. If you make it the defining moment, then you probably distract, but you add ambiance. So that's just my thoughts of the day. Folks, as always, we are in the midst of the world of COVID. All right. And Delta, Omicron, whatever. Listen, I'm not saying get vaxxed. I'm not saying don't get vaxxed. I'm not saying wear a mask. I'm not saying don't wear a mask. I am saying use your common sense, consult with a medical professional that knows your medical history, your weaknesses, your comorbidities, or lack thereof, and be guided by them. Right? That's what they're there for. Find someone you trust. Be safe, be well. God bless. Roll those dice and roll them well. I will be back again tomorrow with Bad Mike, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. We will be doing a live stream to round out the year. I'm sure it'll be this year in Gaming Stupid, not just a week, right? We'll make sure it's a lot of fun for you all. Please join us. I got to do the obligatory. If you're listening to this, if you're watching this, please subscribe, like, comment. It all helps. I do appreciate it. We all appreciate it. Myself, Bad Mike, Old Man Grognard, aka Glenn Hallstrom, Joe the Lawyer. These are my cohorts, right? Rachel on Saturdays, occasionally. Shannon, my niece, by the way. You troll my niece. I'll kill you! No, I won't do that. But you're going to get on Santa's shit list. What can I tell you? All right. And by the way, the that one line before was the reference to a certain comedian who likes to use puppets and ventriloquism. And I don't think I can say the puppet's name in this because it might be considered, bad taste. But in any case, there you go. All right, folks. On that note, laters.